Welcome to the 1st Special Service Force.
SAS, Delta Force, the A-Team. You've heard their names, but what do you really know about these secretive and elite soldiers? Welcome to WatchMojo's Top 5 Facts. In this installment, we're counting down the 5 most interesting things you probably didn't know about Special Forces.
As of now, man for man, they're the best combat unit in the world. And that's a fact, sir, not a promise.
Number 5. Special Forces were formally developed in World War I and II. As long as there's been warfare, there have been soldiers with varying ranks and abilities on the battlefield. Soldiers with specialized abilities and tasks for work behind enemy lines date back as far as ancient China. But Special Forces as we know it is a concept of the 20th century. In World War I, specialized German troops were given extra training and equipment for close quarters combat in order to make them more effective in clearing out trenches. They were called Sturmen, or roughly translated, stormtroopers. In World War II, while the Nazis had specialized units within the SS, other countries would develop their own units, such as the United Kingdom, whose units would later go on to become the SAS.
Stand your ground! Stand your ground!
Meanwhile, the United States and Canada worked together to create a sabotage unit, which would be known as the Devil's Brigade.
Give them hell! Cover fire! Come on, you don't live forever!
Number 4. Acronyms. So many acronyms.
SEALs.
Yep, sea, air, and land.
It's no secret that Special Forces units love them some acronyms. Thing is, there's a lot of them, and some of them aren't even that good. Arguably the most famous, and probably the most pleasing to the ear, is SEAL, which stands for Sea, Air, and Land. Then there's DevGru, the official name for SEAL Team 6, which also has a nice ring to it. But then there's 1st SFOD Delta, USA SOC, MARSOC, 24th STS, and that's just in the US. Elsewhere, you've got JTF2, KSK, GIGN, GROM or GROM, SAS, etc., and most of those sound like garbage. And most are technically not even acronyms, but initialisms. Come on, militaries of the world, names matter, get them right.
Quite frankly, I didn't even want to use you guys. With your dip and your Velcro and all your gear bullshit, I wanted to drop a bomb.
If you're having a hard time keeping all these abbreviations straight, well, so is the US government. That's why in the mid-80s they developed SOCOM, or Special Operations Command, and their job is to oversee and coordinate all the American Special Forces units. Yes, an acronym to manage acronyms.
Just remember when everybody else is shooting the same direction.
Number 3. Some forces are more special than others.
To go from one of the other SEAL teams
Yeah.
to 6, you basically have to go through another boot camp, try out, and go there.
The word Special Forces are somewhat of an umbrella term, and while some may assume that it's just another term meaning badass, there are different levels of badassery. The extraordinarily demanding training of Navy SEALs is legendary.
I'm about to turn on some Marvin Gaye and get in that ass! That's what I'm talking about!
But going through it doesn't even mean you're at the highest level, or Tier 1. For SEALs to be assigned to the super elite Team 6, they must go through additional applications and training.
What you're doing is you're taking elite soldiers out of Special Forces and Rangers, and you're training them to ridiculously high levels.
Other US Tier 1 groups include the Army's 1st SFOD Delta, or Delta Force, while other countries' Tier 1 groups include the UK's SAS, Australia's ASAS, and Canada's JTF2. That's right, Canada's got a Tier 1 unit. Number 2. Canada's Special Forces were a secret until the war in Afghanistan.
Oh, Canada!
Okay, go ahead and make your jokes about Canada's armed forces.
There's kids playing hockey on the back. It's like you want us to make fun of you.
Developed in the early 90s, Canada's Tier 1 group, Joint Task Force 2, was a largely unknown entity to the world and most Canadians. That is until the war in Afghanistan in 2002. When a national newspaper published a picture of several JTF2 members conducting a prisoner transfer to American forces. At that point in time, the Canadian public had not been informed of any Canadian forces being sent to Afghanistan, and for the first few months of their operation, reportedly neither had the Prime Minister. The unit proved its worth though, as in 2004, 40 of its members were awarded the Presidential Unit Citation by the United States. What they did specifically to earn the honor is classified. A US Navy admiral who was in charge of the International Task Force K-Bar in Afghanistan said that when it came to direct action against the enemy, JTF-2 was his first choice. Number 1. Secrets are a vital part of Special Forces. Members who have come forward in the past have been severely reprimanded. In 2014, the author of No Easy Day, a first-hand account of the mission in which Osama bin Laden was killed, lost his security clearance and had to pay a massive settlement for not submitting the book to review by the Department of Defense. 7 other SEALs were served letters of reprimand, effectively ending their military careers, for consulting on the video game Medal of Honor Warfighter. Now, lots of countries will tell you that their Special Forces units are the best in the world. And while it might be fun for civilians to compare, it's not like these guys have exhibition fights against one another. Besides, the most common feature among them is secrecy.
We can't show you these operators without their sunglasses or hats, and we can't tell you their last name.
Secrecy over their training, their deployments, their rosters. We can say this though, from what we know about units like the SEALs, Delta Force, JTF-2, and the SAS, we're glad that we're all on the same side. So, what do you think? Did you learn something about your country's elite fighting force?
There's only one really important thing to know and remember about the force. It's the easiest combat unit in the Army to get out of. All you have to do is fail to measure up.
For more highly trained top 10s and heavily reprimanded top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.